Please start.
Good morning, all the viewers. Good morning, all the Model School family, principals, PGTs, TGTs, and students. This is Muhammad Riazuddin, Principal, Telangana Model School from Jarasangam, from Sangareddy district. I am the subject coordinator for the commerce webinar sessions for second year. And today and now we have the webinar session from the subject commerce. The topic is principles of management and functions of management. The topic is going to be handled by MS Anjum, PGT Commerce from Telangana Model School, Chegunta, Medak district. Now in this unit, we are going to learn about the introduction, meaning, characteristics, objectives, nature and significance of management. And along with that, the most important we are going to learn here is the principles of management. So students, please watch the session carefully, and if you have any doubts, you can share your doubts through the live chat. Now I invite MS Anjum Madam to handle the session. Now over to Anjum Madam. Madam, please.
A very good morning to the webinar team, principals, teachers, and my dear children. A warm welcome to Commerce webinar sessions. Myself, I am MS Anjum, PGT Commerce, TSMS Chegunta, Medak district. And my subject coordinator is Mr. Muhammad Riazuddin sir, Principal, TSMS Jarasangam, Sangareddy. Children, today we are going to deal with commerce, 50%, 50 marks, chapter 9, principles of management. So before we begin, let us go for the contents of the lesson. The principles of management. The contents of the lesson are meaning and definition of management, characteristics of management, objectives of management, significance or importance of management, principles of management. So in this session, we are going to deal up to this. The learning outcomes. After completion of this chapter, you will be able to explain about the meaning and definition of the management and characteristics of the management, objectives of the management, nature and importance of the management. Children, there was an entrepreneur who was desiring to establish a factory or an organization and earn huge profits. So, who does he need? Can he do all these activities by himself? Can he establish an organization, produce the commodities, earn huge profits for himself? Is it possible? No, it is not possible. He needs the help of so many members from the society. Those who also work for the organization and accomplish the organizational objectives to earn huge profits for the organization. Children, what is an organization? An organization contains a group of persons working collectively for a common purpose. So, in an organization, the group of people, including the entrepreneur, come together and they will work collectively to achieve the purpose. What is the purpose here? It is the achievement of objectives, that is the profits. Profits plays an important role for the existence of the organization. So because of that, all the people come together, they would work together, and there should be someone to guide them, to help them. So everyone needs the help of the each other to become successful and satisfy each other's desires to grow in the life. If so many people work, unite to do the work and accomplish the objectives, there must be someone to guide them, to support them, to direct them how to do the work. So this all means the management. Who should be there actually? There should be the management to complete the task of establishment of the organization and achieving the goals. So let us understand the meaning and definition of the management still in detail. So what is management? Management is a universal phenomena. So it is just not just related to the office or the factory. It is also related to the families. It is also related to the clubs and parties or functions and even marriages, and it is also related to the sports teams. Families, in the sense, suppose the head of the family, he will have to manage all the financial resources, identify what are the priorities, what things are lesser important, and how he should be able to spend upon the different things. So that has to be decided by the families, and the clubs are the association of people for a specific activity. Even in clubs there will be so many activities that would going on, so for that also they need to manage several things, even for organizing the small parties or in the schools, even in the like in the families, such as the any of the functions in our homes, for each and every thing that is related the either to the family or to the organization, if any organizational parties are going on. So even for that they need to have the management, prior management. Imagine if the party is to be fixed, is a fixed on a particular date, and there is no such uh, prior activities or preparation is done, and the day has arrived. Is it possible to make the party or the function a success? It is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because there is no arrangement, prior arrangement that has been done. So it is very essential that management is required over there. And even in the sports teams, like for example we can take the cricket team. Okay, so the captain of the cricket team has to manage different things. Who should bat, who should ball, he has to decide all these things. Who has to come as the opener, all these things have to be decided earlier itself. If it is not done and all the players arrive on the ground, imagine how it will be. So it is not just related to an office or a factory, but it is related to the other things also, such as families and even for the clubs, sports teams, parties, and many other things. So management is a universal phenomena. Children, there are certain definitions given by uh, the managerial persons such as F.W. Taylor. He defines management as the art of knowing what to do and then seeing that it is done in the best and the cheapest way. So it is the art of doing a thing, okay, of how to do that thing, and also find out the way, the best way how it can be accomplished, and it should be at the cheapest way. Cheapest, it doesn't mean they should compromise with the quality. The best products at the reasonable or the low prices should be able to provide. It can be uh, for the factory or an industry. So management is the art of knowing what to do, how to do that activity, so that, and see, it is not just identifying what is to be done. Also they have to go for identifying how it can be done. They have to see how it can be done, and also see that it is done in the best as well as cheapest way also. Henry Foyle, he is also the father of management. He defines management is to forecast, to plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and to control. So, what is forecast? Forecast in the sense, suppose if a product is there, he has to identify whether that product has any demand in the market or not. Just simply, if he gets an idea and if he starts producing, it creates the disturbances, chaos. It leads to the wastage of the scarce resources such as money and material, isn't it, children? So he has to forecast these things, and also he should plan whether he should go for the purchase of the product directly to resell or to produce, whether if produce is producing that product is making it cheaper, or to procure that purchasing that product is making it cheaper. So he has to plan, and he has to also plan from where to get the raw material, to how to arrange the funds to buy all the raw materials and to pay the different expenses. Okay, he has to plan, and even he has to organize in the sense he has to provide all the get all the factors of production, okay, at one place, such as land, labor, capital. Okay, and he has to do the production, get started, and to command, to appoint so many persons to work for the organization and give them an order to work for the organization. So commanding is making the people to do the work, and even to coordinate, there should be the coordination between different persons, and even different between different departments also, and even to control. What is controlling? Checking out whether the work is being done or not. So this is how the management has been defined by Henry Fayol. Children, now let us study the characteristics of management to understand management in a better way. It is an economic activity. It gets things done through others. It is a creative activity. It coordinates efforts. It is a process. It is goal oriented. It acts as a group. It is a discipline. So let us study each of the characteristics in detail. It is an economic activity. So management is part and parcel of every economic activity of man. Man does the work to earn the money. It means an economic activity. A producer, an entrepreneur, they also would produce the commodities or procure the commodities, that is buy the commodities, to resell it, to purchase the raw material. So these all things one by one comes under the economic activity. They also comes under the management. They are all molded by the management under different aspects, such as planning, coordinating, controlling, etc. So hence we can say management is an economic activity. It gets things done through others. So management at the higher level doesn't work at the operative level. It is the purpose that management gets the things done through the other people. At the higher level, it won't do any work, but it sees, it organizes the things in such a way that others would work for the organization. So it coordinates individual actions into teams. Means at the lower level, there would be the workers, everyone would be working as a team. Okay, and even at the level of the line men, line foremen and all, they also would be working for the organization. So at every level the coordination would go on, and they will do the different activities, they work as a team and finally perform better to support to the entire organization. In any organization, a group is involved for working towards the common objective. It is not like single-handedly the management cannot be performed. And at different levels, from the top level till the line supervisors, till there will be every person is involved into one kind of management or the other. So let us go for the other thing. It is a creative activity. Creative activity in the sense that is the manager should have an aptitude or skills of management, and he should be he should have an insight in himself to understand the thing. He should be skillful and he should be a creative person. Only then the work of the manager would be fruitful and efficient. It involves the skills of management, which makes management a creative activity. It is also a purposive activity. purposive activity in the sense the management should have a purpose. Okay, there is an organization. In that organization there is management, and the management, what is the purpose of the management? To derive huge profits for the organization. Suppose there is no organization, there can be no management also. For example, if you are writing exams, okay, so when you come to know about the date of the exams, you will start the preparation, isn't it? By that time you will be studying for the generally, but when the exam date is arrived, you will start more preparation, you will fix the target, and you will go through the books in a planned way. Okay, so the purpose is there to get the certain percentage in the exams. So the purpose is compulsory in the managerial activities. Group activity, it's a group activity. As I have said that it is a group activity, it is not an activity which can be performed at a single handed. Okay, one person cannot be a management. It is at different levels the management activities have to be performed. Suppose the CEO is there, chief executive. So he under him there will be different managers such as the production manager, the HR, and even there can be the research and development department, the finance manager. All these people, they form as a group or a team, and they would be working for the organization. And it is also a motivating activity. So these managerial people, the managerial personnel have to motivate the employees to extract maximum results. They are not supposed to be just be quiet or silent. They have always tried to motivate these the employees under them, such as in the form of giving them the bonus or in the form of perks or salaries, so that the employees get an enthusiasm to work for the organization. If all these things are not there, there is no better salary or there are no perks or no bonuses, the employees will lose their enthusiasm, and they may not, they may work, but that work may not be fruitful or it may benefit to the organization. So the next one is economy oriented activity. Economy oriented activity, it is related with the purchase, sale, procuring, making of the different kinds of uh, commodities. So when all these things are done, to the purchase is done, the sale is done, okay, and the procuring of the raw material, making of the commodities in a manufacturing concern, these are all related to economy oriented activities to achieve the derived results. So it is also an economy oriented activity. Delegating activity, what is delegating activity? That is assigning the work to the other persons to accomplish it. It is called as delegation. Okay, suppose the production manager, he delegates the activities to the foreman under him. Okay, and the foreman will accomplish, will assign their different tasks to the workers who are working under them. So they will, the person who is at the higher level, the managers will delegate uh, their duties, the responsibility as well as authority to the next level people, so that the organization could function uh, in a better way. And the next thing is decision making activity. Management is a decision making activity. How, like, it is the people who manage different things, they have to take various decisions at the production level. The production manager needs to decide how much to produce, from where to buy the raw material. The finance manager is there, from where to get the funds for the organization. He has to decide. Okay, it is a decision making activity. The HR, human resource manager, would be there. He has to decide how much salaries to the employees to be paid at what different levels. So he also has the decision making task. So management on the whole, we can say it is also the decision making activity. So then now let us go for the next one. Management, it coordinates efforts. So the management activity brings about coordinated effort of many individuals and small groups. So down at the lower level, so many people, so many individuals are involved in accomplishing their smaller tasks, which finally would lead to the benefit of the organization or profitability of the organization. So these workers, they do the work at the operative level and they are known as human resource. All the personnel who work for accomplishing the organizational task, they are called as the human resources. You can see how the activities are delegated and how the assigning of the work is done and how the human resources are are given different kinds, assigned with different kinds of works in this slide. So the CEO at the topmost level, the chief executive officer, and under him will be the production manager and marketing manager. And here under production manager, there would be the foreman and the foreman, fabrication foreman, and assembly foreman. And under them would be so many workers working under the fabrication foreman as well as the assembly foreman. And under the marketing manager, there would be the sales officers. So these sales officers, again, they delegate the authority and responsibility to the salespersons. So these all together, they can be called as the human resource. They work together to accomplish the organizational objectives, and they work in groups. They will have their individual goals as well as the combined or the common goals to gain the profitability for the organization. Now let us go for the next one. It's a process. Management is a process. It has to set goals, plans, control, and lead the execution of any type of activity. So once the task is finished, one task is finished, then the other task will get started. For example, you are in 12th class. Now, when you have prepared well for the exams, wrote the exams, you will write the exams well. Then what will be the next task for you? What will be the goal for you? That again to join in any of the degree college or whatever it is. And there also you will start working harder. You will try to work more better so that you can achieve a good percentage in your next level also. So there the management also similarly, it doesn't end after completion of one particular task. It will continue for the next task. In a business, we can say, suppose they are able to, the entrepreneur or the organizer is able to achieve certain profit. So what is to be done? He will increase the standard and he will try to improve or grow in his organization, in his profits. And he also made the next task he can fix is to expand his business organization also. And for that he needs to plan and control and also let the execution, that is the work accomplishment of any type of activity. So this is how it becomes a process. Another example also we can take. That is, suppose if a person, if an entrepreneur has in an organization, they have got a particular project. So that project they have accomplished it fruitfully. So that it doesn't end the organization there. The project has ended, but it has not ended the organization. Again, the management will continue for the next project, whatever has come. Okay, children. So it's a process by which management creates, operates, and directs the purposive organization through systematic, coordinated, and cooperated human efforts. So they will, the management, it will create the opportunities and it will operate, it will direct to achieve whatever the purpose is there through a systematic and coordinated, even cooperated human efforts. All the personnel, they have to uh, go for having cooperation and coordination in a systematic way to achieve the organizational objectives. You can see the process is continued over here. Then the next one is, it is goal oriented. Goal oriented in the sense, the purpose of management is to achieve certain goals. There should be a goal fixed. For example, in 12th class, you may have the goal to get 90% marks, isn't it? So if you want to get 90% marks, what will be uh, your management of time? You will think of uh, making one timetable where you can spend maximum time in studying, and how to study, which subject is more important, which is a tough subject. So these all things come under the management, isn't it, children? So what is the goal there? Achieving 90% of marks. So the purpose is to achieve certain goal. If there is no goal, the management's work is ineffective. The goal is very, very important. If the objective of the company is to maximize profits according to the business point, so what is the objective? Is to maximize the profits. So it may be taken. What steps could be taken, such as reducing the cost of production, or adding a new line of product, or replace the existing machine with the automated machines. Okay, existing machine may be worn down. It may not it may not work properly. Because of that, your profits are getting reduced, isn't it, children? So you may purchase a new automated machine which can have huge production capacity, and also to provide maximum output, and which results in attaining or maximizing the profits. So this is with this we can say that management is a goal oriented activity. Then it acts as a group. So management as group refers to section of people who together carry out various managerial activities. So it is not single person. I have repeated number of times. It is not a single person's activity. It is a group activity. So there will be number of people who comes under the management. So as a group, the term management refers to group of individuals who are holding managerial positions. So all the managers from the executive officer to frontline supervisors. So all together they can be called as management only. Okay, under them will be the workers. So everyone will manage, team or a group will together do various managerial activities to accomplish the profitability. Children, now let us go for the next one. It's a discipline. Discipline is, until some time back, management was considered to be the inbuilt capacity or inborn capacity of the person. It is not considered that it can be gained through the instructions and training and teaching. Okay. And those who don't have the inbuilt or the skill of managing by birth, he cannot become a good manager. But because of the improvement in the technology, because of the improvement in the industrial sector, now today there are number of management colleges such as where the MBA, BBA, okay, so many BMS, Bachelor of Management Studies, so many graduation and post graduation courses are there, which helps the people who want to become good managers. They can study, they can go for training, and they can become good managers also. So it refers to a body of knowledge and a separate field of study. So research is done by the scholars also on the principles and as well as the practice of the management. So with this we have completed the characteristics of management. Now let us go for the objectives of management. So in any business organization, there are different objectives, and management has to achieve the objectives in an effective and efficient manner. So what is effective and what is efficient manner? So effective manner in the sense the work has to be completed in a stipulated period of time. It should not cross. Suppose a particular project of making the bulbs. You know the bulbs, children, which light gives light. Okay, so uh, an order of 100 bulbs to make within 2 days has come, and the management is able to make the bulbs within 2 days. And what is efficiency? That the bulb should not cross rupees 10. So the cost of the bulb, for example, it should be 10 rupees. So if the manager is able to make the bulb 100 bulbs within 2 days and also uh, not crossing rupees 10 per bulb, so then that manager is an effective as well as an efficient manager also. But if he is making the bulb by crossing the time, that is 3 days or 4 days, then he is not an effective manager. And suppose if he is not able to make the per bulb cost 10 rupees and it has increased to 12 rupees, so he is not an efficient manager. So both these things, effectiveness and efficiency, should go hand in hand. So it is one of the major objective of the management. So let us study how the objectives are divided into. The objectives of management are three. They are organizational objectives, social objectives, and personal objectives. Organizational objectives are related to the objectives of the organization. Social objectives are related to the objectives related to the society, and personal objectives are those objectives related to the persons who are working in the organization. So let us go in detail for each of them. Organizational objectives. So management of a business is responsible for setting up and achieving objectives for its success. Why the management is there? What is the responsibility of the management? Is to set the objectives for the business as well as achieve those objectives. It is not enough if the objectives are set. The management should work hard, strive hard to make those objectives achievable to gain success. It is very, very important. It has to achieve a variety of objectives in all areas, considering the interest of all stakeholders, including shareholders, employees, customers, and government. It is not like management always strive for getting huge profits of the organization. That is an important aspect only. But they also should consider the interest of the stakeholders. That is, those who are linked, are connected with the organization. They are called as stakeholders. So those people are the shareholders, the employees, the customers, and the government. So shareholder, at the cost of the benefit of these shareholders, employees, customers, and government, the business should not gain the profits. The business should see that the shareholders also should get benefited, the employees also should get uh, the salaries and perks with satisfaction, and the customers also get the products at the cheapest possible prices, the best quality goods at cheapest possible prices. And even the government, the business should be able to pay the taxes to the government so that it can perform various its functions. So uh, organizational objectives should be accomplished taking into consideration the interest of all the stakeholders also. Then utilize human and material resources to the maximum possible advantage. That is to fulfill the economic objective of a business such as survival, profit, and growth. So the management should utilize in a sense, use human resources, that is men, and material resources, that is the raw material, the machinery, etc., up to maximum at possible advantage so that the economic objectives of the business could be achieved, such as survival in the sense, what is survival? That if the business is running into losses continuously, then a time would come that they need to shut the business. So that position should not come. So what is to be done? That the business earn minimum profits at least so that it can survive. So that should be the major objective. Then it should earn not just minimum, it should increase the profitability of the organization. And even it should also lead to the growth and expansion of the organization. This is also one of the major organizational objective. Children, I hope you are able to understand. So let us go for the next objective, that is social objectives. So it creates the benefits for the society. The business or the management of the business, it should always strive to benefit the society, because business organization is established in the society, and it should also work not only for profitability but also to benefit the society also. Environmental friendly methods of production. So when a business organization is there, it should not create any air pollution, water pollution, or soil pollution. So they should adopt such methods of production which makes the production environmental friendly. Then the next one is giving employment opportunities to the disadvantaged sections of the society. So employment opportunities should be provided by the organization, and they should see that it provides benefits to such a section of the society who are disadvantaged, who are poor, who belongs to the poor classes. To such people also, the organization try to provide the job opportunities or employment opportunities. Then providing basic amenities such as schools and crèches for employees. For the children of the employees, there should be the benefits given such as the school facility for the children, as well as they also try to provide for the children below 3 years. The women employees need to carry them along with them. So there should be certain child care center which is called as crush, isn't it, children? So such kind of basic amenities should be provided to the employees, so that without any tension or without any problem they can come and work and dedicate themselves for the benefits of the organization. Now let us go for the next one, personal objectives. What are personal objectives? Such as at the beginning slide we have discussed about an entrepreneur who wants to who has the desire to set up a business unit. What was his purpose? To gain huge profits, isn't it, children? Similarly, there he cannot do alone. He needs to invite so many persons to work. So those who come to work also will have certain objectives for themselves, isn't it? So those are called as personal objectives. So they all become part of the organization to satisfy their diverse needs. Okay, so they can be such as the salaries, the perks, and which satisfies their basic needs, isn't it, children? Their food, clothing, shelter, isn't it? And apart from that, they should be able to live a respectable life. And social needs, such as peer recognition. Peer recognition means they should be getting certain recognition in their among their colleagues. And higher level needs, such as personal growth and development. So these all things also should be satisfied at the level of the employees. Means employees also should be able to enjoy all these things, and at the same time they should work for the organization. So it is not that the cutting down the salaries or cutting down the perks of the employees, it will give them the profitability may increase at that particular period of time, but it will give the best employees will walk out from the organization if proper salaries are not paid. If there is no recognition given to them, the best employees, those who are working better, they will be dissatisfied. They will stop working. Are you able to understand, children? And the higher level needs, such as personal growth and development, also. Suppose if he is riding a scooter, then he should come to such position that he should be able to drive a car. So that is his personal growth. So these all things also should be satisfied at the employee level also, so that they work for the betterment of the organization. So management has to reconcile personal goals with the organizational objectives for the harmony of the organization. So the personal goals also should kept in mind by the management along with the organizational objectives, so that the organizational benefits could be achieved, and even the personnel who are working in the organization, they can also be satisfied and work for the betterment of the organization. With this, we have finished the objectives of the organization. Now let us go for the next, that is nature of management. So how is the nature of management? As I have discussed that management is not earlier it was thought that management is inborn. Okay, but now uh, it has made like a training or teaching instruction is being given so that many good managers can get themselves trained and come as good managers and serve the different organizations. So how is the nature of management? Let us understand. So social responsibility, science as well as art. Management has a distinct entity, purposive activity. Management is pervasive and management is a group activity. So, what is social responsibility? As we have discussed, management now has become a discipline. It is being studied as a part of certain subject. So, the role of manager has still increased. Okay, the role of the manager has still increased as it is accepted as a profession. So he is not just answerable to his employer, the one who has given him the employment, but he is equally answerable to the society. The society in the sense, the customers and the shareholders. Okay, all these people come under the society. So the common people. So for everyone, he should be doing justice. He cannot provide the outdated goods to them. Okay. So such it is, he is not just answerable to the employer only, but he is equally responsible to the society also. It is his responsibility to take care of the interest of the consumers as well. Then management is art as well as science. So management is science because it's a systematized body of knowledge where managerial principles are there, okay, and which are applicable all around the world, just like science. Okay, so management can be considered as science, whereas it is an art. Why it is an art? Art in the sense the skills, the creativity of the manager. So he needs to take so many decisions which can be different from the other managers, and the results also may change. It will not be same. But in science, what would happen? That whatever it is universally applicable. Science is universally applicable, where the decisions of the results will vary from one person to another, one manager or one organization to other organization. So management at up to certain extent we can call it a science because managerial principles are applicable all around, and it can be called as an art because it involves the creativity, the skill of the managers, okay, which the good managers can make the best out of what is provided to them. So it is an art. So it is more like social science such as economics, politics, okay. So it is art because the application of managerial skills are governed by the aptitude and ability possessed by the managers. Then the next one is management is distinct entity. So managers at higher level do not work at operative level. We have discussed in the earlier time. So what is the manager doesn't do the work by himself. What is management? It is making things done by others, making the work to be done by others. It is called as the management. So it has a distinct entity. Management is not doing the work. What is the distinctiveness or the difference there? That is, it makes the work to be done by others. So their success lies in managing the maximum output, uh, to extract maximum output from minimum resources. So maximum output has to be extracted. The success of management lies in extracting maximum output from the minimum resources in the form of money, by using the money, scarce resources, material, and time. So the success of management lies over there. Then the next one, it is a purposive activity. So management is always aimed at achieving specified objectives. So there should be a purpose before the management. If there is no purpose, there is no management. Management and purpose are interlinked. Okay, management is comes into role when there is a purpose or an objective that is set over there. It is a tool which helps efficient use of the human and physical resources to accomplish the predetermined goals. So, how better a manager utilizes the human resources, that is men who are working in the organization, and physical resources such as material, raw material, the machinery, the furniture, all the different things. Okay, what is the purpose? The purpose is whatever they have decided, that is predetermined goal to gain the profits, okay, to expand the business organization. All this comes under the purpose of the organization. Then the next is management is a group activity. It is not an activity which is done by a single person. There would be so many people who will be acting like managers at different levels. The top level to the lower level, there would be so many managers who would do the work as a team and accomplish the organizational objectives. It involves group efforts in achieving the predetermined goals or the objectives. Then we shall go for discussing whether management is a science or art. To understand the nature of management, we need to understand whether management is a science or an art, or whether it can be called as a profession. So let us discuss that. So management is a science. On what basis? That it involves the research, as well as it identifies the problems and tries to investigate it. It is the managerial principles and the practices are universally applicable. So it can be called as a science. And it also classifies the data to obtain and develop it into alternative courses of action. So these all things, the data is obtained and developed into different alternative course of action at times of need. So all these things makes the management a science, isn't it, children? But we can also say that management is an art. So the application of management skills is governed by the abilities and aptitude of manager. The managerial decisions cannot be exact and will not have universal validity as compared to the other natural sciences. So the application of the managerial skills, they are governed by the ability, how efficient is the manager. A good manager who is having good aptitude, the skill, the insight, he will make the organization fruitful, the objectives of the organization fruitful. Suppose if he is not a good manager, unable to have proper insight, then it will lead to the losses to the organization. So the decisions of the manager makes are not universally applicable, the result, whereas in science the results are universally acceptable, whereas in art the decisions of the manager or the different other things, the whatever the outcomes what the manager has done, it will not be same, it will be different from one manager to another manager. So managerial decisions cannot be exact, and they don't have universal validity also, as compared to the natural sciences. Wherever you go, the science is universally applicable, the universal application is there. There will be the application is there for the science, whereas there is no such a rule for managerial activities, which makes management as an art. So management can be compared with the social sciences such as economics, politics, and sociology. So now let us study management as a profession. So whether management is a profession, now we can see so many people as MBAs, okay, who are managing different business organizations. So it is changing every time. It is dynamic. Management has become dynamic. It is progressively changing. Managers must receive training in management, and they are now possessing requisite educational qualification to get a managerial position. So it can be accepted as a profession, but management doesn't have any bar council such as it is there for the lawyers or it is there for the chartered accountants, but there is no such bar council for the management. So which again there are certain things which makes it uh, disqualified to be a profession. So it still is at the evolutionary stage only. So the management is emerging profession backed up by number of principles, techniques and tools, and they have to be developed with proper training, education and learning. Children, I hope till here you have understood the lesson. So let us go for the next. Significance of management. Sorry.
Yes.
Children, now let us study about the significance or importance of management. So, how management is important, how significant it is. So, only sound management can produce greater output with less efforts from given complex of human, natural, and material resources. So, maximum output could be extracted from by making less efforts with a given set of resources such as men, material, and the natural resources such as land. Okay, so who can do that? If the managers or the management is sound or efficient enough, then only the management can be successful in achieving its objectives. Management is highly significant in fast changing society and technology, industrial structures and specializations. It has been significantly changing very fastly. It has become dynamic in the existing society, and it is also in the technology, the industrial structures and the specializations are also changing. Along with that, the management is reacting uh, in a way that it matches with the needs of the society, and it also can use maximum good technology. It also takes the industrial structures and the specialization, and it can work efficiently for the benefits of the organization. It helps in group goals and assembles and organizes the available resources for the accomplishment of the goals. So the group goals are to be made. So not just the individual or the personal goals. What is the group goal? The group goal is the organizational goals. So management helps in achieving the group goals, as well as it assembles, it organizes the available resources. Why it does so? Assemble is getting the things, and such as land, labor, raw material, all these things. And it also organizes the available resources, whatever that is there. With that, he won't say, a good management won't say that this is required, that is required, all comforts are required, only then the machinery would work or the organization would function. Whatever the resources that are there, with that only it will try to accomplish the objectives or try to get the goals of the organization. The next one is the management has the ability to put to test when it helps organization to survive in the market under free cutthroat competition. So management has the ability to, at the time of situation where the cutthroat competition is there, during such time, an able manager or a good management can survive, can make the organization survive in the market also. Management has to face and solve numerous labor problems also. It has so many labor problems. The workers working at the low level, they would be having different kinds of problems. So management also will face such kind of labor problems, and they will raise almost there are number of problems that raise in the society also, and even in the industrial organization. Management will face all these things every day and sort out all these problems and achieve the profits for the organization. Management has to accomplish the objectives set forth in the beginning by any industrial organization. So management, what is the task of the management? To achieve the goals, to accomplish the objectives that are there before it, so that it can achieve huge profits, it can work for the betterment of the organization. Then the next one is the management provides stability in the society by changing and modifying the resources or production in the fast changing economic and social environment. Suppose there can be number of changes that come as a part of the production. Suppose there can be no demand for the particular product, or suddenly the technology, high level technology has come. So management has the ability to uh, stand stable during such kind of situations also, and to modify the resources so that the production doesn't get wasted, and they can be make use of the whatever the production that has been done in the fast changing economy and social environment also. Management strikes proper balance among the factors of production. What are the factors of production? Factors of production are land, labor, capital, and organization. All these are the factors of production. So management strikes the proper balance among them, which are interrelated and interdependent. Okay, interrelated means land, labor, capital are interrelated to each other. So they are the management. It will try to create the balance among all the factors of production and try to secure the maximum efficiency. That is, make the products at the best products at the cheapest possible prices. Then the next one is management provides maximum utilization of scarce resources by selecting its best possible alternative use in industry from out of various uses to which it can be put. So what is a scarce resource? Money is a scarce resource. Raw material is a scarce resource, isn't it? It is limited. Land is a scarce resource, isn't it, children? So management has the ability to make the maximum utilization of the scarce resources by selecting the best alternative from all. There will be plan A, plan B, plan C to accomplish, to select. So it will choose that alternative, it will choose that plan which give best possible results, which makes maximum utilization of the scarce resources and gives huge benefits to the organization. Management helps an organization to survive in dynamic environment, in changing environment. It is responsible for survival and stability, that is stable growth of the organization. It is an organization, uh, it is the management which helps the organization to survive in a dynamic, ever-changing environment. Okay, today the technology is there, tomorrow that technology may be there, or some more sophisticated technology may come into existence. So even during such kind of situation also, management helps the organization provide possible solutions to it. So it is responsible for the making the organization to survive, earn the profits, and manage with stable growth, which leads the management helps the organization to grow stable with stability, in the sense that there should not be a down arrow. It will be always the growth of the organization. If the management is very good, it leads to the growth of the organization. So children, we have come to the end of the uh, objectives, and even we have also discussed about the nature of management. So now let us go for, even we have discussed about the significance of the management. So with this, we have come to the first part of principles of management and you have to answer some of the questions. You try to test your knowledge. There are so many questions which are very important from the examination point of view, and even for your personal growth also, personal growth and development also. So what are the questions? Let us see. The first one is define management. It is very, very important question. The second one is management is considered to be both an art and science. Explain. The third question is explain the nature of management. The fourth question, what are the characteristics of management? And the fifth one is explain the levels of management. So with this, we have come to the end of the class, children. I hope you have understood the concept in a better way. We will meet in the second part of the lesson. And I thank Shailaja madam and Riazuddin sir for providing me this platform to give my presentation. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful session and for nice explanation about the management and its importance, objectives, nature, and significance. And at the same time, I thanks to all the viewers, students who has watched this session carefully. I hope you all enjoy the session. And thanks to one and all. Thank you all.